Okay, ever feel kind of lost? Like when you're facing a big decision?
Oh, yeah, totally. Like which path to take.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like that's what you might be going through right now, wanting to figure out God's will, right? And you gave us this text, pasted text.
Makes sense. It's a pretty common question. Like, what's
Mm.
my purpose? Am I on the right track? And this pasted text dives right into that, seeking guidance and all.
Right from the beginning, it says God has a plan, wants to guide us, but we got to put in the effort, seek his will. It's not just going to like appear.
Yeah, seeking, that's a keyword, active role, right? Like a back and forth, not just waiting around.
So how do we actually do that? Seeking God's will, it sounds kind of vague. Where do we even begin?
Well, the text points to a few things, starting with prayer, but not just a wish list. It's more about, aligning our desires with God's.
And in session 2, there's this whole part on the prayer of surrender. Even gives you a specific prayer. There's this line that stood out to me. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding.
Hits the nail on the head. We can only see so much, right? Surrendering is admitting that God might have a bigger plan than we can grasp.
It's like trusting the GPS, even when it takes you on a detour that makes no sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that trust can open our eyes to possibilities we wouldn't even see otherwise. But pasted text goes beyond just prayer. It stresses studying scripture too.
Immersing ourselves in the Bible, right? Finding stories or principles that connect to what we're going through.
That's where things get interesting. Different folks approach the Bible in different ways, some looking for direct answers, others seeing it more as a guide for, building character, making good judgments.
So not like finding a verse that says go to Seattle, but understanding the bigger ideas about faith, wisdom, choices.
You got it. And the context matters, the history, the overall message. We don't want to twist verses to fit what we want.
Like looking at one tiny thread instead of the whole tapestry, right?
Right? You missed the big picture.
But let's be real, even with prayer in the Bible, sometimes figuring out God's will feels impossible. Does the pasted text suggest anything else to help us?
It does. Talks about wise counsel. Talking to mentors, spiritual leaders, friends who've been there. We're not in this alone.
Like that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Finding God's will is a marathon, not a sprint.
And that's where discernment comes in. Pasted text talks about noticing those inner nudges, that feeling of peace or unease when making a decision.
It's that gut feeling, right?
Yeah, but we got to be self-aware, honest about our motives, fears, all that. Sometimes those nudges are just us, not God.
So what if you've prayed, studied, gotten advice, checked in with your gut, and still feel stuck? What then?
Remember that line, lean not on your own understanding. Sometimes we just got to let go of needing all the answers and take a leap of faith.
So it's not always knowing everything. It's the courage to move forward, even when unsure.
Exactly. And the path might be bumpy. Pasted text reminds us that following God's will doesn't equal easy street. There'll be challenges, unexpected turns.
Maybe those are part of it, how we learn and grow.
Precisely. And if you truly believe God's got a good plan for you, how does that change how you handle your choices, the tough stuff? What if you embrace the unknown with excitement, not fear?
That's something to think about for sure. So to recap, seeking God's will, it's a journey. Lots of parts. Prayer, studying, wise counsel, gut checks, and big trust. Not about one right answer. It's about building a strong bond with God, letting that lead the way. And don't forget, you're not alone. Keep searching, keep trusting, and be open to how God might be guiding you to a life that really means something.
Well said.
Thanks for diving into this with me.
My pleasure.
And to you listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.